Well, it is 3:46, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Greetings to all of you who are joining us here live today, as well as those who are joining us remotely. I ask if you have a question, go ahead and hold that off till the very end. If you're viewing online, and go ahead and mute your microphone as well. We want to make sure, as we said before, that we have accessed these two URLs, tinyurl.com/trainingdoc1 and then trainingdoc2. Want to go ahead and have those in front of you. We'll be accessing them today. See if I can unfreeze this, and we are back. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and direct your attention to the resource doc here, and if you'll scroll down almost close to the bottom there, there's a file that says doc practice file. Go ahead and click on that if you would, and then click the link that it generates. I think for you it might make a read-only copy. Go ahead and make a copy of it for yourself. That way you can be editing it. It's a document that we're going to use to just practice on, so we'll have some content to work with. Okay? All right, and then the other thing I want to tell you before we get started here is that several of the slides in this presentation have embedded links, and I'll tell you which ones those are. They'll basically be linked to, in the cases where I have added one, to the graphic that is there in the center of the slide. Okay? All right, having set the stage, let's go ahead and get started. We're just going to go right through our training agenda items. First thing on the list, doc.new. This is a great way to start out a presentation or a document. It's as simple as just opening up a new tab and just typing in doc.new. That automatically opens up Google Docs, and it starts you with a new document. See what happens when I do that? Doc.new, new untitled document. Don't have to go to docs.google.com, go to Drive, New, it just takes you right there. Doc.new. And you can do the same thing with Google Sheets, sheet.new or slide.new. Okay? All right. So you should have a new document opened up now. So let's say we want to work from one of the templates. There are a lot of nice templates that we can work from. You'll find them by going to the File menu. Underneath File, go to New, and then choose From Template. Okay? So File, New, From Template. And you can see we have two sections here. We have Alcoa City Schools templates. I think we may have mentioned this during the Google Slides training. Some specific to Alcoa City Schools, and then some general. I created several of these when I was at the high school. Purchase requisition forms, basically e-versions of hard copies that we had on hand. I wanted teachers to be able to just pull these up and then type in them. And we got a pretty good collection here going. We have one now for the Educator Support Center, and then we have several other from, looks like, the elementary school. Okay, so basically what happens when you click on a template, it takes the document and it puts a copy in your drive. So then it's yours. That's what a template does. All right, so for example, if I clicked on this athletic fundraising one, it's going to go ahead and make a copy of the template, and it puts it right here in my drive. Now the document is mine. I can customize it and do with it what I wish. Okay. All right, moving right along. Okay, opening files. And I know we had a question on this one because I heard it through the grapevine. Someone was curious how we actually open up Word files, right? I'll explain that, okay? So here's how we do it. We click on the File menu, and we're going to choose Open, okay? All right, so the first thing on your list here, you're going to be seeing the content of your drive. All right, so you can scan through there, you can do a search. All right, go to your shared drives, files shared with you, starred, recent. I actually use recent That's the most frequently used search criteria that I employ whenever I'm trying to locate a document from the file menu, because chances are I've worked on it recently, so I'll find it there in recent. All right. But if it's a Word file, chances are you're going to have this stored locally on your computer. So I happen to have a Word file that is on my desktop. I'm going to attempt to open it. All right. This is a docx file. All right. That's the file extension. So I just choose select a file from your computer. Here it is on my desktop. It's a resume, the Word version. You can see it's a docx file. I'll click open and let's see what it does. And here it is. And it does a pretty good job of preserving the formatting. You may run into some occasional issues where the fonts aren't exactly alike, maybe what was in the Word version, but they're probably close enough. Page setup, and I think I have a link there. Yeah, so you'll see what happened on this presentation. If you click on the graphic here, you got a little link to a document where I've demoed this feature here. So I'll go ahead and pull this up. This feature hasn't been around too terribly long, but what it does is it allows you to change the orientation of different pages within the document. Whereas before, if you change the orientation, it changed everything. All right. This may come in handy, let's say if you wanted to put a map or something that displays nicely in landscape orientation. Here's what it looks like. If I go out to say 75% here and I'll scroll down, you'll see that I have my portrait page right here, my first page. But as I scroll down, there's my second one, and here's my third page right here. So that is in landscape orientation. All right, and so what you would do is you would click in an area, and then from the file menu, you would locate the page setup menu, and then here it is. All right, so if I wanted landscape, I could apply it to the whole document, this section, or this section forward. Okay? All right, the other things that you'll find under page setup are going to be your margins, as well as the page color, which I don't know, I kind of find that not really useful. I don't change the color of my pages very often because I print on white paper. Yeah, so, but it's there. All right, we had an issue not too terribly long ago where we were dealing with a lack of internet. Remember when the fiber was cut and we didn't have access to internet services? Well, as a result, if we wanted to use Google Docs, we couldn't because that's web-based. However, there's a little workaround that allows you to use Google Docs offline. Okay, to enable offline editing, what you'll need to do is click on the File menu here, and then choose the option that says Make Available Offline. When you do this, if you've not enabled this feature before, you'll see this window saying Extension Needed. And so you want to install the Docs Offline Chrome extension to Google Chrome. So we'll click Install, and it'll take us to the Chrome Web Store where we will see what we need here. We'll click Add to Chrome and then Add Extension. All right, we've got it. Now when we come back to our document, we'll reload this page, and then we'll try to make this available offline again. Click on the File menu and then choose Make Available Offline. So when we do that, you'll see this now. It says Turn on Offline for all files. Not recommended on public or shared computers. All right, so we'll go ahead and turn this on. This will allow us to access our Google Doc files even if we lose our internet connection. We also have different modes built into Google Docs. And let me come back here to my presentation. You'll find that underneath the View menu. So if you go up to View, you'll see the mode option. So editing, obviously, if you share out a file with somebody using editing mode, they'll be able to edit the document. If it's suggesting, then everything they attempt to do will become a suggestion. So it won't actually change the document. All right, and of course the viewing mode just allows them to look at it. Okay, so those are the three differences in modes. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one, which is document outline, which is going to be this one right here. And I think I have a link for that. Yep, document outline example in our presentation. If you click on that link, okay, the way you see your outline is just by clicking on the view menu. And here it is, show document outline. All right, so this will take you to the different sections. And these outline points are based on the style of text that you're using, okay? So for example, right up here, you can see that is using a title style right here. Because we've applied a style, it becomes an item over here in the outline. And using these styles really makes the document creation process a lot easier. You don't have to mess with manually adjusting the size or colors. If you just apply a style, you're pretty much guaranteed that the document will look good. It'll look the way it's supposed to, professionally speaking. And again, that's under the view menu, show document outline. Now, if you're just working with a blank page and you go show document outline, you're probably not going to see anything, right? So don't be alarmed if you look for it and there's nothing there. Okay, next. Okay, how many of you knew that you could do equations in Google Docs? See, I wish we had some math teachers here, because I think this would be something that they would appreciate. All right, looks like I got another example there of that one. So if I click equation example, pull up here, hopefully it'll, there we are, equation example. So how did we do that? Quite easy. All we have to do is click on the view menu and we'll choose show equation toolbar. And when we do that, here it is, new equation. So if we click that, let's say we want to make a fraction. All right, I'm going to look at I think the fourth option here. There's my fraction option. So I click on that, and I want to do 1/2. So I'll type in the number 1, and then when I hit tab, it'll take me down to the denominator, and I can type in the number 2. And then if I wanted to add additional equations, I would just access them from the menu up here. You'll notice there are also different symbols, greater than, less than, equal to, all those things that a math teacher may use. The next one is formatting. And for this one, I'm just going to go ahead and pull up the doc practice file that we had. You'll see your formatting toolbar up there. Really, it's just a matter of selecting your text and then going to the format menu. Okay, you'll see underneath text all of your formatting options. All the standard ones are there, bold, italicized. Keyboard shortcuts here work as well. So if you hit Command B, that's going to be bold. Command I, italicized, and then it shows you what those keyboard shortcuts there are as well. And then this is a little known feature, but if for whatever reason maybe you had to uppercase all the words in your document, you have that option here as well. Okay, so maybe somebody sends you something in all caps and you want to quickly fix it or adjust it a little bit. This little feature here will allow you to clean things up to a certain extent anyway. Okay, then of course you have your font options here up at the top. You can see those. And if you don't happen to see a font that suits you, you can choose more fonts. And from here, you can choose from hundreds. Look at all these. And these can be filtered. Handwriting. If I chose that filter, you're going to see there's all the handwriting fonts. See that? And you just, when you find one that you like, go ahead and check it, and then it'll add it to your list of fonts. What I'm showing you here, a lot of it goes through the top level menus up here, but you'll also see that same functionality built into this toolbar here. All right, just FYI. All right, so the next item here is alignment and indents. So if we wanted to indent this paragraph here, okay, again, we're going up to the format menu, align and indent. And here are your options. See that? If I want to increase the indent here, scoots it over. And you can control the amount or the degree of the indent right here under indentation options. That's also under the menu there. Okay?
Okay, to apply a set of bullets or numbers to text or items in a paragraph, simply select the items, and then on your toolbar up here you can choose the bulleted list option or your numbered list option. All right, if we chose bulleted list, you can see it will quickly apply a set of round bullets here. We have some other types that we can add. All right, little boxes, stars, arrows. You can see what happens when we click on these. All right. If you wanted to change the color of just the bullets, click on the top level bullet here. You can see how it selects all of those, and then you can choose a different color. All right. If you wanted to replace these bullets with, say, a different kind of symbol that isn't shown up here in these options, once again, select the bullets, go to your format menu, go to bullets and numbering, and then under list options, you could see that you could choose any of these, but you could also go to more bullets. All right, and then here it will bring up the special characters window, and let's say you wanted to put a little emoji in there. You could certainly do that. Here's a happy emoji, a grinning face. You can choose that, and now we've added that into our bulleted list. Very simple and easy to do.
Special characters you're going to find by clicking on the Insert menu. So if in your document you wanted to use a special character, click on the Insert menu, and you're going to look for Special Characters right there. That will allow you to choose from symbols, and of course here are the emoticons that I was trying to get in earlier. There we go. You just simply double click on it and it should add it there into your document if you need it there. All right. I actually use special characters occasionally with the emails that I send out. Okay, I used a special character here. Helps you draw attention to certain elements of your document. So they do actually have their uses.
Tables are a great way to display information that needs to be emphasized. To add a table to your document, click on the Insert menu, and then from here, find Table. You can choose how many rows or columns that you want. For right now, I'm going to go ahead and choose 4 columns and 3 rows. So when you set that, it'll go ahead and automatically draw the table in here. These cells can be shaded any color you like. Simply click inside the cells, select, and on your paint bucket up here, the background color, you can choose a color. All right, there we are. Of course, the columns and rows can be resized just by clicking right here on one of the divider lines. Drag it either to the left or to the right. All right, and then you'll notice when you click inside each cell, you have this little pull down, and what that will allow you to do is to select the borders going around the cell. So let's say for whatever reason you may not want a border going across here. Choose that option, and then let's say I only want this bottom border to appear. So if we choose that, it will select it, and then I want that to be red. Okay, so you can see with that it just changed the color of my bottom border to red. I'm going to turn off the border of the entire table. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and select the entire table, come up here to border color. You can see here's our color choices, but if you don't want any line going around it, set it to a 0 point. Okay, Now we don't see those borders going around here. So for here now, this particular cell, if I wanted to give the appearance of a line that I could type on, click that little drop down and select the bottom border. And when you do that, you'll see this option here to go ahead and choose a border style. And I'll say a 5-point line there. There, now when we come inside here and type, you can see it doesn't scoot that line over. This is a handy tip that will come in useful if you're trying to create forms that people will actually type in. And I can show you, if we go back to one of our examples, templates, we go new from template, and I will find, let's see, this one right here, purchase requisition. I built this document and I used tables here, and I turned off some of the cells borders and left the bottom border here in this case. So if I turn all of them on, you can see if I select the entire table, that's what it looked like before I actually turned off select borders. Okay. To remove a table, simply click inside the table here. You can right click and then choose delete, and it will get rid of the table.
This next one is fun, and that is whenever we work with images. So if we pull up the doc practice file, you'll see that I have one right here that I've inserted into the document. All right, the way you get a picture into your document is again through the insert menu. Just go insert, right? You can insert a drawing if you want to, or an image. Upload it from your computer. You can search the web. Search tool built right inside Docs here. Pull it from your drive, from your Google Photos album. You have the URL, or you can take a picture. I think we did this with Drive as well. But once you get your picture in here, you can see, in this case, I added the picture here, but it doesn't look very good. Doesn't work well with the text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to first resize it here. Right, so you do that by just clicking and dragging on the corner, and then you have these text wrapping options right down here at the bottom. Right, so if I wanted this to maybe have the text wrapped around it, I can choose one of these options, see what it does. Okay, wrap it to the left, wrap it to the right, and then you also have absolute positioning behind or in front of text. That's great if you wanted to create a watermark and put it behind everything. All right, so if I chose that option, I said behind text, see what it did? It actually put it behind there. Believe it or not, the ability to put an image behind everything has only come along within the past 6 months. Docs has been around for well over a decade, and so it's high time. And you've been able to do that in Word for forever.
The other type of image that you can insert into a Google Doc is a drawing. And so if we click on the Insert menu here and choose Drawing, we can pull one directly from our drive that's already been created, or we could design a new one. So if I choose the New option here, you can see it pulls up this canvas. Now, for this example, what I'd like to do is to grab a screenshot of the Google Slides interface, bring this in to this canvas area, make some annotations, and then put that into my Google Doc. So I'll switch over here to my Google Slides, and I want to grab like this menu area right here. Right, so I'm going to do a Command-Shift-4, and that will let me grab just this section right here. Okay. Then I will come back to my drawing. It saved that file to my desktop, and I'm just going to drop this in now. Here we are. So at this point I can resize this if I like. I can put a border around it. So I'll put a 2-point border around there. And then I'm going to add a little arrow. All right, so I'm going to look at my lines here. I have arrows that I can add. There's an arrow, and I'll draw it to this point here. I will increase the width there of that arrow and maybe make it red. Okay, then I also want to add a little label that says click here. So I will put in a little text box. Okay. And I will increase that font slightly. All right, I'll move it down just a little bit. Okay, there we are. All right, so if your graphic now looks, your drawing looks the way you want it, click Save and Close, and it'll actually drop that into your Google Doc. All right, and then you can position this the same way you would the other images. If for some reason you discovered that there was a mistake here in this drawing and you needed to move something over, no problem. Just double click on the drawing. It'll take you right back here, and at this point you can reposition any of the elements inside of your drawing or recrop it. Do whatever you need to do. Just click Save and Close, and then you'll see the adjustments made right here in your doc. Okay, real quickly we're going to talk about bookmarks. So you can think of bookmarks as simple links within your document. We have these incomplete links that we've already entered up here at the top of the page, and we want, when clicked, them to take us to the different parts of this particular document. All right, so the way I'm going to do that is by clicking the first area where I want to create the bookmark. So that's going to be the start, the beginning of the second paragraph. What I'll do next is I will click Insert, and then I will locate Bookmark, and I will choose it. All right, so it puts a bookmark right there. All right, I will add another bookmark here. Insert, Bookmark. Okay. I'll do a couple more. This will be my third bookmark right here. All right. So I've now added 3 different bookmarks. I'm not going to do all 5. So now to link these words here to the bookmarks, so when I click on them, it takes me right there to that point of the document, that area of the document rather. I'm going to select the text. All right. And click Insert, Link, or you'll find the link icon up here on the toolbar. All right. And then you're going to look for your headings and bookmarks. All right, if we click here, we're going to see, well, there's my first bookmark right there. I'll choose that. I'll do the same thing with point 2. Headings and bookmarks. Right there. And then finally for point 3. All right. So now when we're viewing this document, or somebody else is viewing it, they want to get right to point 3. They click there, it'll take them directly to that bookmark. That's how bookmarks work.
Page numbers, you've got some options there. You'll find that again under the Insert menu. All right, so what we'll do is we'll go Insert and then Page numbers. Different styles that it'll put in the upper right-hand corner. Right. This option here, it'll actually skip the title page. And then you have more options here as well.
Okay, Google Docs has some very useful tools. You'll see them displayed here under the Tools menu. We don't have time to go through all of them, but we do want to highlight 3 of them here today. The first thing we'll look at is the character and word counter. So what we'll do is click on Tools, and then if we choose Word Count, you can see it'll tell us how many pages we have, how many words, characters, and if we want, we can choose to have that continually displayed while we're working on the document. We do that by simply checking this option right here. All right. So that's word count. The other thing we can do is to translate the entire document. So for example, if you were typing up a letter to send home to parents and you wanted to create a, let's say, a Spanish version as well, click on your Tools menu and then choose the Translate option, Translate Document. And then what it'll do is it'll prompt you to choose the language you'd like it translated into. And I will find Spanish here, and then we click Translate, and it'll go ahead and make that change for us. All right. If you were working on a research document and you want to quickly add citation information, again, click on Tools and then choose Citations. What this will allow you to do is to choose one of 3 different citation styles. We have MLA, APA, and Chicago. All right. If I chose MLA, we'll then click Add Citation Source. So you'd be prompted to choose the type of source this information would be coming from. You can see they're all listed there. All right, so if I said a website, you could narrow it down to the author, their first and last name. If there were contributors here, you would enter the title, website title, publisher, all this, and then basically what it would do is it would build all this automatically for you and then insert the citation information also into a bibliography page for you. All right, very, very useful, this feature here. The other thing is the Explore feature. So that's going to allow you to quickly get information, research type information from different websites and then cite it automatically. So the way we use that is by clicking on Tools and then going to Explore. So in this case, let me click Retry here. This is sometimes a little finicky. If I wanted to find information on, say, the attack on Pearl Harbor, all right, I would just type in Pearl Harbor, all right, and then I would strike the Enter key and then retry once more. And then here's the hits that it came up with. All right, so if I wanted to grab some information here from Wikipedia, I could go ahead and click on that link and it'll open up a new tab with the information. Let's say this first little bit here is what I wanted to use in my paper. All right, I'm going to copy that and then I'll come back here. There we are. All right, let me clean it up just a little bit here before I move on. All right, so then if I want to get all the citation information, this is really easy. All right, we'll come back here to the link and you see these little quotes. If we choose that, it will cite this information as a footnote. If I click that and look, if I go to the bottom of the page here, it listed that. So I have referenced the information now correctly. And we did it all with a simple single click.
Okay. Checklists, that is a new feature, and I have some of those that I've inserted here. What's nice about the checklist, let's say a group was working through a list of items. As you go through them, they're actually interactive. So you just can click on them and you can see it automatically strikes it through. Okay. And how you would insert a checklist is quite simple. It's under bullets and numbering. Yep. Yeah. Format, bullets and numbering, and then here it is, checklist. And so that'll create the first one, strike the Enter key, and then it'll put another one right underneath it. Okay.
Here's a recent YouTube video I did on creating meeting notes and also assigning action items within your Google Doc. To create a set of meeting notes for your next Google Calendar event, click on the Insert menu, go to Templates, and then from here select the Meeting Notes option. Google Docs will scan through all your upcoming events inside Google Calendar. At this point, it's up to you to choose the event that you'd like to create notes for. I'll click here this Q3 Tech Summit option. Now when we choose that, you'll see that we have the option to share and attach the document with all the attendees. I'll do that, but before I do, I'm going to go ahead and title the name of my document. So I'll just click up here in the text title field, and right before the date, I'll type in the word notes. There we are. At this point, it's ready to be shared. So if I click Share and Attach, I will see the names of all the invitees will be coming. All right. Also, you'll notice that the edit option is selected by default. We want to give them access to work on this document during the actual meeting. All right, so everything looks good. At this point, I'll go ahead and I'll click Share. I'll switch on over to one of the invitees' accounts. Here we are on Clint's Google Calendar page. If he clicks on the upcoming event, you'll see that he has a link here to the document that we just worked on. It's attached to the event. So if he clicks on it, it'll take him right here. Here we're looking at what would be a finished version of meeting notes. As you can see, we had topics that were discussed. We made some notes here. One last thing that we'd like to do, and that is to assign action items to some of the attendees. And this is sort of a bonus tip that I'm embedding into this video. So if we scroll down here, you'll see that I have several of them, 5 to be exact, 5 action items, and I want to assign each of these to an individual. So the way we do that is to go ahead and select the action items, and then we're going to right click or control click and then choose comment. In the comment field, to assign this task to one of the attendees, you're going to start by adding the plus symbol followed by the name of the attendee. Here we are, Clint Hughes. When we do this, you'll see this option to assign the action item to that individual. I'll go ahead and check that and then click Assign. So now there's no question who is responsible for what. If I go back over to Clint's screen, you can see here that he has that notification that, hey, this task has been assigned to me. So let's say some time passes and Clint actually gets this done. He can come back here and pull up these comments. In this case, he's going to say, all done. All right, and then he'll check it off the list. He'll do that by just clicking here on the Mark as Done option. If you'd like to see a history of the comments made on this document or the assigned action items, simply go up here to the Open Comment History option and you'll see everything that's happened. At the very top, you'll see that I assigned this particular task to Clint Hughes and he marked it as done. We also see his comment there.
Opening PDFs. Google Docs also has OCR built in, which optical character recognition. So it's going to allow me to open up a PDF file. All right, so what I would do is go to the File menu and then Open. I've got a PDF file here on my desktop. If I chose Upload, select the file from my device. Here it is. You can see this is a PDF file. I'm going to prove to you that it works. I'll choose Upload. Okay, and then it's going to take me here, but then I should have the option to bring it in to Docs. Here we go. It'll convert it for me. And boom. So there it is. Now that font, not too crazy about that font once that was brought in. So what I could do is I could select the text and change that font, or I could remove all the formatting very quickly by going up to the Format menu and choose Clear Formatting. That takes all the formatting away. Now it's just plain text. Okay? All right. Last tip here before I get to the add-ons that I'm just going to quickly mention. Sharing and exporting. This is one I used a few times last year when I tried to promote the tech training sessions. If you have your document built and don't want to go through the trouble of pulling up Gmail and attaching, you can email and share directly from the File menu. So if you were to click File, look here, Email, you could email this file right here. All right, so you just go ahead and address it. All right, and you have the option, okay, to convert it to a PDF, which would flatten it, or other formats. Options are there. Compose your email message and then send it. Okay. By now, we should all be familiar with how to share files. but there's a couple other things I want to show you with regards to sharing that you may not have known about. So if you have a doc open and then you click that share button, this little gear over here, if you click that, that's going to allow you to choose whether or not editors can change permissions and share. All right, so you might want other people to edit the document, but you don't want them sharing it out with somebody else. This is the option here that prevents that. Okay, and also you can disable the option to download, print, and copy if you want. Is that foolproof? No, because there's always the screenshot option, right, that people can use. But it just makes it a little more difficult for them. All right, last three things I want to quickly show you, and we're doing really good, about out of time here. And those are the document add-ons, and it's on 25, 26, and 27. This one is Text Cleaner. This is a good one. I have those linked actually inside here. Text Cleaner add-on. If you click on that link, that will allow you to go ahead and install it. That'll clean up your text for you. So it'll find spaces, it'll find things that are misspelled. Basically, just run it, and it's going to end up saving you a lot of time. Text Cleaner. DocTools add-on. That's sort of a it's kind of like the Swiss Army knife of word processors. Okay, that allows you to do a lot of different things with the text. There's a word cloud add-on there. I didn't put it in my presentation, but this allows you to generate a very colorful word cloud based on the words in a paragraph. And then there's a fun, literally fun text add-on is going to let you go ahead and change the color. I'm just going to demo one of these here real quick for you so you can see what it'll do. So for this text right here, if I wanted to use the fun text add-on, I'd go ahead and select the text. And then from the add-on menu, I could choose fun text. And look at all these options here. So if I want to do something with color, maybe, let's see, let's do a smooth rainbow effect here. See what that did? Automatic. You know how long it would take me to do that in each individual letter? Way too long. Yeah. Yeah, but that's something that you can do to, you know, just make your documents stand out a little bit more, make them more interesting, especially if you're working with kids. That's useful. Okay. All right, so check out those add-ons. They're all free. Should have no problem installing them if you're so inclined. What's that?
I just added fun text.
Oh, good, good. So it was the fun text and the bullet emojis that we weren't able to do. Those are going to be the takeaways for today, maybe. Yeah. All right, very good. Last thing I would like you all to do is to go ahead and go to the resource doc and go ahead, like we've done in previous sessions, and click on the training completion form link right there. So that'll take you to the form. And go ahead and enter your first name and last name, today's date. Choose the session title, replacing Microsoft Word with Google Docs, and then submit. And about a minute later, you should have an email with a nice spiffy certificate with your name on it as evidence and proof that you came to this training. With that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up in here. I appreciate everyone coming. This is recorded, so I'll be posting it later if you wanted to go back and review. For all those who were tuning in remotely, thank you for joining. If you have any questions, reach out to me via email, tlarson@alcoaschools.net. Thanks.